So I was given a $50 gift card to Tackle Warehouse, and I couldn't really think of what I should get. So I was browsing through some stuff, and I thought, I wonder how much stuff I can get from the clearance page for 50 bucks. So I went in, they got the different categories. I went into all the different categories, and I started to just look for the cheapest thing. No matter what it was, that's what I bought. I was able to get a whopping 18 different items for $50. It was a smidge over $50 on their clearance page. So we're going to go through and show you what they are. First off, we got the Buckeye Lures Flat Top Finesse Jig. This is an interesting bait. My dad actually used one of these last year. We were out bass fishing, and he caught a whole bunch of northern pike on this thing. It's flat on top. And so it sits, kind of like a Ned rig or something like that. But this is a great lure. I'm not going to go through and tell you the individual prices of everything. I'll have that in the description down below if you want to check out what these things cost. But like I said, an average of under $3 per item. Next, we've got a Strike King Swinging Sugar Buzzbait. And this was one that was discounted specifically because of this color. But this is a buzzbait that swings right there. A little different than most buzzbaits. And this color is kind of a chartreuse. It's got a little bit of a sparkle in it, little silver sparkle. This actually will work good where I'm at because I do have a lot of dirty water. So I think this will actually be a good color for my location. Next, we have the Strike King Rocket Shad. And this is actually a really cool bait. It's a tiny little spinner bait. It has a treble hook on it, or no, it's got a twin hook, like kind of like a frog would have on it, but it swings, obviously. That little hook right there, if you can see that. And actually, I'm excited to use this on the river for smallmouth. I think that could be a really excellent lure for that. And what I like about this is a 1/2 ounce bait. So I can throw this tiny little finesse bait on a bait caster, no problem. And like its name, the Rocket Shad, it should rocket through the air pretty good because it's so small, it doesn't really have much wind resistance. So I'm pretty excited about that bait. I had one of these when I was younger, and it worked pretty good back then. I don't know why I stopped using it, but I don't have one, so there you go. The Strike King Rocket Shad. Okay, so next I've got a Strike King Rage Blade. And the Rage Blade is kind of like a chatterbait style bait, vibrating jig head. But it is a little bit different from most traditional vibrating jigs or bladed jigs. So it's got like the swinging head with the weight in the blade on that head. And it runs a lot like a chatterbait. It has a little bit more erratic action, in my opinion, and it thumps pretty hard. So it's definitely a good one to add to your chatterbait or your bladed jig arsenal. I do have some experience with these, and they catch fish. Next, we have the Strike King Sexy Dog, and this is a Zara Spook type lure, a walking bait. Top water walking bait, and I think these are like 10 bucks. And this one was cheaper because of the color, but I don't see anything wrong with this color. I guess people must not want it, but it's kind of a translucent color. It is got a big knocker in there and really sharp hooks. Ouch. Yeah, this is gonna be a great walking bait, and I don't see anything wrong with that color. You guys see anything wrong with that color? Kind of a thread fin shad. I think that would pretty much work anywhere in the country. Next, we've got a crankbait from a company called Duel. Duel Hardcore Crank 3+. I've never heard of that company, but it is a Japanese company. Bunch of stuff written on here that I can't read. Blackback chartreuse. This was one that was on clearance because of the color. Nice looking crankbait. It's going to be probably medium diver. Let's see what it says. Well, it doesn't say, but from the looks of that bill, it's probably going to go, I would say, around 8 to 10 feet. Chartreuse blackback, that color's hard to beat in a crankbait, so I think that'll do just fine. All right, another one from Strike King. This is the J300D deep diving jerkbait. So this dives to 11 feet. I just started kind of figuring out jerkbaits last year, and I did use some deep diving jerkbaits. And it is a little different than using your average jerkbait, but I was able to have some success with it, and I like the tactic. This was on sale because of the color. This color is called Bully, and actually I think this color would work really good for smallmouth bass. It's kind of a crazy color, kind of bright yellow. It's got a little teal on the belly there, but I think that color would stick out and take a curious smallmouth, make him come and eat it. Got noisy rattles in there, of course sharp hooks, and the deeper diving model. So I got some 6th Sense Dropshot hooks, and they don't look too terribly unique, but they are a little different in their design than your run-of-the-mill hook. But that should work pretty good for drop shot. You can also use this for a wacky worm, stuff like that. And I don't know if you haven't used 6th Sense before, they make pretty good stuff. I use some of their flipping hooks and stuff when I'm punching grass, and it's good stuff. I like it. It works. Now these are very unique, and I think this company is actually out of business. Trapper Tackle. But they were around for a little while, and they make a very unique style hook. I have never used them before. I've seen them, heard about them, but never had the opportunity to use any of them. And these are a drop shot hook. This is actually a pretty small hook, but you can see it's got a very unique shape to it, and they claim that will help to prevent fish coming off with that design right there. So I'm kind of anxious to try these, even though I don't think they're available anymore. What's out there is what's out there. I don't think they're making them. These were only 99 cents, guys. So if you want to try these things out, get over there and see if you can pick some up. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think you can get them anymore. So whatever they got, they're probably going to run out, and then they'll be out of them. All right, now we're moving on to some soft plastics, guys. This is a Jackall Sasuteki Craw. And these actually, I'm pretty excited about these because I think that'll be a really good bait for punching grass. Really good bait. Nice and slender. It should go through the grass really good, but it's long. It's got a big profile. Hopefully attract bigger fish. It's kind of it's pretty solid, meaty body, so you'll be able to rig it well on a flipping hook, and I think you can probably catch multiple fish on it without tearing it up too bad. And Jackall is a good company. They're one of the Japanese tackle companies. Super cover through performance. Yeah, I think it'll be excellent bait for punching. All right, next we got some coffee tubes from Strike King. And tubes, I don't know, they're kind of off again, on again. I don't think that they really, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people fish with tubes. In fact, I've got a bunch of tubes, and I don't fish with them that often. But it's something I want to start using for smallmouth. Just a little purple tube. And these are their coffee flavored ones. Coffee and salt impregnated. It says death before decaf on it. These are 2 3/4 inches. Yeah, they should do the trick. All right, next we have some Lucky Strikes live motion Frantic frogs. So this is a soft plastic frog that you would rig on a hook by itself, And then you kind of throw these out and just rip them across the top of the water, kind of like a buzzbait. This has really big paddle tail feet, so it should make quite a commotion in the water. It's a pretty solid, I mean, it's a big chunk, you know, it's a fair chunk of plastic. These are black color 3-inch. And let's see. Wanted to see if it floats, but it doesn't say whether it floats or not. I'm guessing it does not float. You probably just have to get moving with it, just like a buzzbait. Throw it out there and start reeling it right away. This is something I probably wouldn't have bought, aside from the fact I was trying to find the cheapest stuff on there. All right, we have another item from Jackall. This is the Clonegill Super Reel. And this, I'm not sure really where I would use this. The only spot I can really think of, you know, I don't know. I would probably just put this on like a jig head and fish it on the bottom. In fact, I think the best method for using it would be on beds, when fish are on beds and you're sight fishing for bass, because I don't know, it's not designed to be a trailer. It's not really designed to swim by itself. It's just, if you put it on a jig head, it'll kind of, you know, sit like this on the bottom and simulate a small fish, you know, messing around in the bottom trying to find something to eat. The fish are on the bed, then they're in there trying to eat eggs. So that's probably what I'll do with this. Once again, this is one that I probably would not have purchased, aside from the fact that it was on clearance and I wanted to see what I could get. So I just got the cheapest stuff. They look pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see. All right, next from Strike King, we have the Shim-E-Stick. Their version of like a stick bait, a Senko. These are great lures. I've used a ton. I have tons of these. I've caught tons of bass on them. This is a black with a little blue on the tail, blue fleck in there. That will catch bass pretty much anywhere in the country on pretty much any day. So can never go wrong with these. Wacky rig them, Texas rig them, however you want to fish them. They will get the job done. All right, next from Big Bite Baits, we have the 5-inch Big Craw. And this color is, it says black neon, but there's definitely some red in there. But this is a pretty big craw style bait. This would be a good bait to use as just Texas rig this or Carolina rig this and run it along the bottom. It's kind of a big bait to use as a jig trailer. I probably wouldn't use it for a jig trailer unless for some reason I was trying to get a really big profile. But it's pretty long for that. Of course, you could cut it down some, but you'd kind of be wasting a lot of it. Yeah, I don't know. This might work okay as a punch bait because even though it is big, it is pretty slender until you get to this part, and it is pretty thin profile-wise, so it should go through the cover pretty decent. All right, just got a couple more left here. This is also from Big Bite Baits. This is a 3-inch Craw color, Crawdad. And these are pretty straightforward baits. Pretty standard looking craw. Whoops. They're kind of small. They're only 3-inch and they're actually a pretty, you know, it's a pretty small bait. This would work excellent though as a jig trailer. This would actually work real good on a smaller type, finesse type jig as a trailer. You could also fish this standalone Texas rig, but it's pretty small, so it's going to be in real light application. But where I think this would be a great lure is to use on a Ned rig. And it appears to have it's hollow. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a pocket, but it is hollow. So it should want to float up a little bit when you initially put it in the water. All right, guys, the last bait, and this is a classic, right? This is a classic bait. This is Grande Fishing, Extreme Infused Scent and Salt. These are designed and made in the USA in Texas. I've never heard of this bait company before, but This is a 6-inch salty dog lizard in a sprayed grass color. So like the tube, I think the lizard is a bait that has kind of been forgotten about some. There are people that still fish it out there, but it's not as popular. You know, lots of guys using a Senko or a ribbon-tail worm or a crawdad, and the lizard is probably kind of fallen out of favor. I used to catch a lot of fish on a lizard when I was a kid on a Carolina rig. It's one of the first things I learned how to fish. And it works good. In the springtime, lizards can be really effective because when bass are spawning, lizards go in there and will attack the eggs and eat the eggs, as you know, because it's easy meal. So bass know that lizards are a threat in the springtime, so it can definitely be a good tactic for the spring. All right, guys, that is what I got from Tackle Warehouse for 50 bucks on clearance. Some of those items are probably not something I would have gone out and purchased, that I would have been looking for, but I thought it'd be neat to just kind of find out what you could really get for 50 bucks from Tackle Warehouse on the clearance side. So that's what I did. But there's definitely some good stuff in there that I will fish with for sure. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell down there so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.